Let's talk about our very first project together for passive income. Welcome to my treasury, where together we are going to try alternate forms of passive income together, and hopefully we can learn from each other's mistakes. The first project that I'm very excited about is a simple lined notebook and publishing it on KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. So just as a brief overview, what we're going to talk about in this video, here's a few things that we need to learn before we can move forward with publishing these books. First is how to use the KDP dashboard. Now, if you have used the KDP dashboard before, please leave a comment below and let us know. The second thing you're going to need is an ISBN number. This is going to be different depending on what country you're in. The third thing is how to create lined paper electronically and convert it to a PDF format. Then we also need to look at how to design a cover or hiring somebody to design a cover for us. Then once we have all of this, we also need to learn how to make descriptions and find keywords, set pricing, and then how to market and advertise your books. Let's dig a little deeper. KDP dashboard is very well laid out and I find it very simple to use. But if you're not as technically inclined or you're not as familiar with publishing books online, it may be a bit of a learning curve, and I think that's where you would need to start first. It's important to learn how to use the dashboard first so that you have an understanding of what you're going to be facing once you have everything else ready for your book. And of course, there are going to be some requirements as to what you need before you move forward, like your ISBN number, your book description, the keywords that you're going to need, and decide on a price. Otherwise, you're going to be starting and stopping when you first go to upload. If you just go to upload with just your files, then you're going to keep stopping and saying, oh crap, I don't know how to do this yet. Oh no, where do I go from here? So it's better for you to do the research, make your plan before you actually go and upload your book. Okay, the ISBN. In Canada, ISBNs are 100% free. If you're Canadian and you need to get your ISBN, you can go to the Canadian Archives and Library and Archives, or Archives and Libraries. It's one or the other. In other countries, you'll need to learn how to get this for yourself. Not all countries are free. You might need to pay for a single ISBN, or if you plan to publish multiple books, then you can buy packages, which normally saves you money in the long run. Now, alternatively, you can also use Amazon's free ISBN that they can provide you when you upload to KDP. However, if you do use that, which is free, you cannot upload and publish that notebook or book or whatever it is that you're publishing anywhere else. It is basically just for Amazon KDP. So my suggestion is it's worthwhile if you get your own individual ISBN number. Now, when you're doing your cover, you also need a barcode for that ISBN number. I get mine free using an online barcode generator, which I will leave the link below in the description for you. Basically what you do is you click on the link. You need, I believe it is EAN-1313. You need your ISBN number. You paste it into the space provided, and then you click on generate, and the barcode will come up for you, and you just have to download it. So that is a barcode that you need for your cover design. Now, if you can't get this, or if your ISBN was free and you're using Kindle's ISBN number for yourself, they will automatically create a barcode for you when you upload your cover. There's a little box that you can check off or on to let them know whether or not there's already a barcode on your book. Creating the lined paper. Now, I don't know what software you're using. Let me know down in the comments below. I myself am a Word user. I've been using Word for as long as I can remember. So I go into Word and I use the border option. Now, there's a couple of downsides to using the border option. When you add a border and it goes across the page, and then you hit enter, sometimes that bar will just keep moving down, which leaves you with basically one line on the page. Now, if you set up an extra space, so you go on your top of your sheet, You hit enter a couple of times, then you arrow up to a previous line and then insert the border line. It does work. And then you can simply copy and paste all the way down. Now I recommend leaving a little bit of extra space at the top of your page and a little bit of space less than the top on the bottom of the page so that they could add titles or whatever when they buy the book. Because you don't want perfectly spaced out lines from the very top and all the way down. A lot of people do enjoy putting titles or dates or something like that on the top of their notepad. So once I get one full sheet of solid lines all the way across the page, and make sure you're checking the size of the paper so that you leave room for the bleed line, because you do need space for the bleed when you're doing lines all the way across the page. Then you can highlight the entire section of that whole sheet. You can copy and hit Control V until you have 120 pages. Now you're going to have to check the first couple to make sure there's not any extra spacing that's bumping the lines down, because I did do that once and it kind of sucks. So I stuck with 120 pages because after some research, it is the most common size of a notebook. And I also chose the size 6x9. And again, the page formatting in Word needs to be the right size to include the bleed. So you can actually look that up on the KDP information site. So what I did is I went to actually Google and I looked up KDP page size print book, and there's a link, and I clicked on the link and it gave me all the information I needed as to what page size it needed to be for a certain print book size that includes bleed. After that, the benefit of using Word is you can save directly into a PDF format without having to use a converter. So I just do File, Save As, change the file type to PDF, and voila. All right, the book cover. Book cover, you might need some graphic design skills. Some people use Canva. For myself, I use Corel Paint Shop Pro 2021. I enjoy graphic design. I'm not technically trained, but because I enjoy it, I have found ways to learn about what I need to do to get what the end result is that I want. That was a mouthful. So in terms of that size, again, I Googled the KDP book cover template and I found the link, I opened it, and you can actually download the template for the size of the book that you want. So then I just opened that in my graphic design software, and then I put a blank cover, like a layer over top of it, and then I just started designing so that I could map out where things need to be. So again, if you don't have any kind of graphic design skills, you don't plan on learning graphic design, you can go to other places and actually hire people to design a cover for you. One place that is very popular is Fiverr.com. There is a lot of graphic artists there, and some are newer, and if you find the newer people on that platform, then you can get a cover for pretty cheap. I mean, they range from $5 to $15, or sorry, $5 to like $30 in the lowest tiered market. But if you want something that's super awesome, you could spend like hundreds of dollars on a really good quality cover. But we are trying to keep our costs down, so I don't recommend for a notebook that you go to the top tier and pay a huge amount. If you're doing like a print book that is a full content chapter book or novel, then by all means spend as much money as you feel is necessary. Now, for the simple notebooks, it doesn't need to be something super detailed. The simpler, the better. So one other thing that you need to do is make sure that your cover is in PDF format. Now, if the cover that you've made or hired somebody to provide for you is not in PDF format, you need to convert it to PDF. So again, in the description below, I have left you a link for a free online converter. You can pretty much convert a number of different file types from one into the PDF. So you basically upload it to the website and you convert it, and then you hit download and it'll download onto your computer. But just a tip, make sure when the options come up on the right side of your screen that you're actually selecting to keep the original file size, because it has like a drop down arrow and you can pick like letter, legal, A4, whatever, but you need it to be the exact same cover size of the original file in the graphic design software or from the person that created it for you, because it needs to be that size for KDP. Advertising. So far, I have made a Facebook page, and I have invited all of my personal contacts, and as well as the people that follow my writing page for my actual books, my publications, my ebook publications. Now again, I selected a different author name than what I have for my actual ebooks. I have a very unique author name that is different from everything else that I publish under. This will only be used for notebooks, low content books, coloring books, whatever I end up getting into in the future. So I've already started this just to test the waters so that I kind of had a better idea as to what the hell I was talking about on this video. So as of today, Friday, August 13th, I officially have 5 notebooks on the market. It is all the same basic cover design, but different colors. Now I've also designed a niche specific notebook. So it's not just lines, it has little words as to where you're supposed to write certain things. And I have 5 of those up, which is basically the exact same book, only with different colors on the cover. So I have 10 in total, and after a couple weeks, I haven't made any sales. Now I bought 1 of each for myself so that I could test out the formatting. And I think that that's something important that you should do. You upload just 1 of your notebooks, and then you order your own copy. Now you can order author copies depending on where you are. Being in Canada, I had a little bit of a hard time with this because I can't order an author copy directly from Amazon.ca. I'd have to order it from the .com, but when I went to order it from .com, it came up that I could not select my province. So it didn't make any sense to me. So what I did is I marked down my price temporarily, and then I went to Amazon.ca and ordered it with my own personal Amazon account. And then I went back in and marked the price back up to what I had originally started with. Now, in terms of pricing, I know you're probably going to want to do your own research, but it's very common for these notebooks to be priced $6.99 to $7.99. Now, because I'm new and nobody's going to find me, I have started with $6.49 just so that it's a more competitive rate to start until I start getting sales and reviews. Now, how often am I going to actually work on these notebooks? Well, I finally made myself what I call a scheduling matrix. It's a little bit difficult to explain without showing it to you, but basically it's a place that has a list of what I need to do, and then I've got the days of the week, and then it's all grayed out, but it has white boxes on the days that I'm supposed to do it so that I can check it off. So my plan is every Friday I'm going to spend at least an hour on publishing and uploading more notebooks with different covers. So once you make your interior for these lined notebooks, as long as you're publishing the same size, you don't have to do that step again. You keep that same PDF file for all of your notebook uploads. And all you have to do is make a new cover, get an ISBN and a barcode. Make a new cover with an ISBN and a barcode. And then when you upload it, you just have to use the same interior file, which is super cool, and it's a lot faster than publishing, ebooks with stories in it. So let me know if you've actually started this. I really want to know how you're doing with this. I think until I get Amazon advertising campaigns going, I really don't think anybody's going to find or buy my books unless it's somebody that I know who has liked my Facebook page and has seen me posting these books there. All right, so in the next video, I am going to update you on where I am at with my sales. And I'm also going to share any kind of tips that I've learned along the way. Now here's a little gemstone for you. Nobody is going to find your book unless you advertise. Amazon is flooded with tons of books and notebooks and anything you can possibly think of. So the people's products that come up in a search are going to be the people who pay for advertising, or because of the advertising have become best sellers. Now, also you need to make sure you have excellent keywords. Keywords is a huge part of this. Now, keywords I am honestly not very good at. I do have a friend, Easy Graphics, who has offered a little bit of guidance in this area. and we're just putting some information together and hopefully that he can help me. Now you can get software to help you with the keywords. I don't have that extra money yet that I can invest in this, but I think it would be very beneficial. It is called Publisher Rocket. And again, I don't have this. I've never used it or tried it or watched tutorials on it, but everybody that I've heard of talking about this software is super happy with it. So something that you might want to consider looking at. Thanks so much for watching Tania's Treasury today. Good luck with your lined notebooks, and we'll talk to you again in a couple weeks.